In this video, we are going to learn the decomposition method. So here we need to understand that any square matrix, okay, any square matrix, suppose A I am taking, that square matrix can be represented as what? The product of two matrices, that is nothing but lower triangular matrix and upper triangular matrix. In lower triangular matrix, what happens? Here you can see that in lower triangular matrix, the above the diagonal elements, the elements above diagonals will be 0, right? And in upper triangular matrix, below the diagonal elements will be 0. So you need to remember that, that is very important. So we'll talk about the lower triangular matrix. In lower triangular matrix, we have to understand above the diagonal elements, okay? Diagonal elements, above the diagonal elements, the whatever the elements is there, that will be 0. So you can observe over here, this is 0, this is 0, this is 0. Diagonal elements are nothing but, I hope you understood, L11, L22, L33. And in upper triangular matrix, below elements will be 0. So you can observe U11, U22, U33 are nothing but what? Diagonal elements. Below that elements are what? 0. First you have to understand that. So any triangular, any square matrix that is nothing but A, which is given by A11, A12, A13, so on, that can be represented as what? The That should be a square matrix. Square matrix in the sense the rows and columns should be equal, right? Two rows, two columns, three rows, three columns, four rows, four columns, like that. So here I have taken three rows, three columns. Okay, so that will be corresponding to there also the order should match. That means it should be 3 cross 3. Here also it should be 3 cross 3. Everywhere it should be 3 cross 3. Order also should match. Okay, so here we are having the decomposition that we are going for two methods. Two methods we are having Cholesky's and Crout's. Cholesky's and Crout's only slight difference is there, but if they mention it as go by Cholesky's triangular, Cholesky's method, then you have to go by that method itself, right? Otherwise, Crout's method is also there. There is only slight difference. I'll first elaborate the steps so that you can understand. Then we'll proceed with the problems. So starting with Cholesky's triangulation method, it is basically we are considering the linear equation 3 cross 3. That's why I'm considering the first equation, second equation and third equation. Three equations I am considering here. The always remember the constants whatever is there, that should be on the right hand side of the RHS side. It should be on the RHS side. Okay. So the first step is basically to write all the coefficients from the equations. That means A matrix you have to write, that is nothing but the square matrix. X matrix is nothing but a column matrix. X1, X2, X3 will be the unknown variables if it is 3 equation. 2 equation, only 2 unknowns will be there, X1 and X2. And B matrix is nothing but the constant which is sitting on the right hand side. Remember, it should sit on the right hand side. If it is not sitting on the right hand side, you have to bring that to the right hand side. Then you have to write the coefficients, because minus sign, plus sign, it depends. Now the first step is basically we have done with the first step, writing the matrices, that is A matrix, B matrix and X matrix. After that you have to form A is equal to LU. As I said, as we have discussed before, that square matrix can be represented as what? Product of L and U, where L is nothing but the lower triangular matrix and U is the upper triangular matrix. And L in this Cholesky's method, what you would understand here is that in Cholesky's method, the L diagonal elements will be what? 1. The diagonal elements, very important, will be what? 1. So we have to take it as unity. That means unit diagonal elements will be there for lower triangular matrix. We are not taking L11, L22, L33 what? It will be 1 for L, lower triangular matrix. But for upper triangular matrix, it will remain the same. That's what happens in Cholesky's method. In Crout's method, we'll understand that. In Crout's method, what happens? Only slight difference is there. That means here, upper triangular matrix, the diagonal elements will become 1. Rest all will remain same. In let me just write over here. Crout's method, what happens? That only the upper triangular matrix diagonal elements will become 1, unity. Lower triangular matrix there is no change. But in Cholesky's you can see lower triangular matrix will change, upper triangular matrix will remain same. This is the only difference you need to understand. Rest all steps remains the same. Okay. Now first thing that you have to write A is equal to LU, then we have to find all the unknowns L21, L12, L22, all the things. Okay. So that will be seen in the questions. Just to understand here that A is equal to LU, you write, and after writing that you have to find all the unknowns L11, L22, whatever unknowns is there. Okay, with respect to the methods. Now after that we have to, this is the important step, after that what you have to do, LB is equal to B outright. What is L? L is nothing but the lower triangular matrix which remains the same. B is nothing but the upper triangular, B is nothing but the constant matrix which is a column matrix, B1, B2, V3, and V is nothing but V1, V2, V3, a column matrix again. We have introduced this matrix again. Okay. So in this matrix what happens, we'll be getting some equations. So first equation, second equation, like that we'll be getting equations. By this equation, what we can understand that we have already calculated the values of L1 and all unknowns we have calculated, right? And B1, B2, B3 we already know. We are going to find the value of V1, V2, V3 using these equations. Okay, so our intention is basically by this method to find out the variable matrix which is V1, V2, V3. We are going to find these unknowns, and then what we are going to do? Then we are going the next step. We are going for the next step, which is nothing but ux equal to v. What is ux? X is nothing but we have already discussed x1, x2, x3 column matrix. U is the upper triangular matrix. V already we have discussed now. V1, V2, V3. Now by using this, what are you going to find out? Here also equations will be formed, right? But the thing is that here we already know by the previous method, previous step, right? So we already got v1, v2, v3. Okay, so this is v2. So v2, v3. Like that, everything is given. So using this method, what we are going to get? We are going to get x1, x2, x3 by using the above equations. So these three equations, what we are going to get? The unknown is only in these three equations, nothing but x1, x2, x3. That's it. All the other variables we know already. Okay. So this is how we are going to get x1, x2, x3 by using what? Cholesky's as well as Crout's also steps remains the same. Only thing is that here slight variation will come. That's it. So you can observe the variation. Okay, so let me just zoom it out so you can observe the variation, what variation is happening over here. So here to here and here to here, only difference is that thing, rest all steps remains the same. While solving the problem, you'll understand how we are doing that.